Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're live today. This is the Redtagmedia Podcast. And of course, we're broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada. And for everybody that wants to join in, we can obviously, congregate here and share beautiful ideas and share brilliant, developmental, um, you know, uh, ideas or projects that we can offer as an individual or as a company or as somebody that wants to delve into national matters of great importance. This week already we've had so many that has happened, of course, and we're there to just dissect those topics as advertised. Um, we are going to be live, or we are live right now, but we'll be joined by various individuals from various sectors of the profession, from politicians, from nurses, doctors, pharmacists, and just ordinary Zambians and joining here in the diaspora as well as outside Zambia. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be uh, continuing the program in a moment. Tune in. Stay tuned in.
Canadian businesses facing new challenges. BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada, is paving the way for them, breaking down doors for entrepreneurs. BDC, financial advice.
Takire, Anguya Granasa, Kukupana, Ilaya Papali Bekantu, Nizaji Tabuchi, Tanemene, Uwe, Ulina Musonda, Amunana, Ipayo Mulume Wakwenzi, Ilaya Mayo, I want to feel good love with your own. Go to Shapo, Talo, Aume, Jipaya, Way, Yupwa, Ipayo Mulume. Thank you, love. Never to Shapo. Mwami.
Inyimbo shakwa PK. Inyimbo shakwa PK. Chava shani mwafuluka kunganda.
Our heart is always at home. Yeah? Kuno.
Yes.
But the heart is still at
home is home is home. Home is home.
The home is home. So we cannot not listen to Inimbo Shesu. We need to listen to it more.
The other time I was playing my Tonga songs. And this guy from Romania looks at me. I even started dancing. I said, I thought these songs are dancing, but yes, they are. Home is home. We have to express a culture wherever we are. There's a culture that we have to express.
Exactly. And this music is long forgotten because there was this generation of Kalindula, which has now I can say it's no more, but the music still lives on because the quality of the music and the messages that were given, it's something that you can listen to for years and years and years and years and years. Okay, and it's something that we haven't even actually protected.
It's not bubblegum.
No, it's not bubblegum.
It's not bubblegum music.
Not bubblegum music.
It's not bubblegum music.
That stands the test. But one funny thing is we haven't protected this music. The other day I was watching a movie.
No,
I was watching. I forget what the name of the movie. Only to hear Pongo's song in the background.
How much have they made from that movie?
Exactly. And who's getting all those money? You see?
All those royalties.
I can tell you, most of the Ngozi family, most of them are dead. And if the children, there are some that are still remaining, there are very few. But it so happened that I think they must have sold the masters. Somebody in the family must have sold the masters. So the person that owns the masters right now is not a Zambian.
Maybe you're only understanding you. Maybe you're even being polite. Maybe I'm safe your wall.
Was overplayed.
Maybe I'm safe Jameson.
Which is very bad because that was timeless music, classic music.
Yes.
And in fact, I've already drawn up a letter. I want to write to Zambia Association and all these Ministry of Youth and Sport to say
they should probe.
These are the things that they need to treasure and hold on to. If somebody they need to buy those masters back from whoever owns them and keep it within the vault of Zambia music.
Do you know what?
Because we cannot have a Zambian music without our own originals, where people can actually come. They have a proper way of doing it, proper business. They want to sample something, money is made, and the government or the family makes some money. I mean, there should be a proper way of doing these things.
Do you know what made the economy of Jamaica to tick? The music for Bob Marley. The royalties that were paid to Bob Marley had an impact on the economy of Japan, of Jamaica. The marketing, everything, that music, Bob Marley, there was a significant impact on the economy. Just music. So it's something that we need to protect.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Yes, sir. That's a topic for another day. You're right.
That's a topic for another day. Anyway, so we got some topics here.
Yes.
I think the top one. That's why I was even listening to this song, Namusonda. I was listening to Namusonda by PK Tishala. And then all of a sudden I remembered, we've got a topic. I think we're talking about Faith Musonda.
Faith Musonda.
She had the audacity,
the power of a woman,
to go and knock on HH's door at 01.
Mhm.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I don't know how to even imagine that. I don't even know how to think about it. I'm like, who does that? Who does that?
Who does that? I can give you an answer.
Mm.
Faith Musonda.
Gives her the audacity? What gives
Uh,
her that
w-
power,
one,
authority? Where is she
she's
drawing it
been
from?
she's been in the corridors of power,
Uh-huh.
so she knows. She's been in the corridors of power. And there, I'm I'm speaking in tongues here.
Okay. She's been
She's
in the
been
corridors of power, yes, indeed.
she's been in the corridors of power. So
Uh,
to her, those people look the same. There's no
to her.
difference. Yeah, she can. Super
Wow.
that maybe timing fair should be. Otherwise, she knows what kind of smile to give the man.
Uh-huh. Uh,
Maybe approach fair.
but I would not
But
draw one
but
name.
let's talk
How
let's
takwava.
talk from this point of view, where we are to say that the head of state is a head of state.
Mm-hmm.
Where he stays has got some kind of decorum.
Mm-hmm.
There was no celebration at that home that
Mm-hmm.
attracted public participation.
Mm-hmm.
The time was wrong. There was no appointment.
Mm.
And just mwana omwana kashure kimona bawushi bali guys.
And no, and the matter of fact is this: with what she was explaining why she went there, that's the wrong person to go to. That's the wrong person.
Was it you see, the executive, judiciary, and legislature,
Mm.
those are three separate arms of government.
Mm-hmm.
The president is in the executive.
Yeah.
She has a problem she has a case with the judiciary.
Yeah.
Why didn't she go to the house of the chief justice? I can understand.
Exactly.
You complain
Exactly.
from there. Say, look,
Yeah.
we want from justice. Number you go
Uh-huh.
to executive.
Bakateka is not the one that presides over these issues.
I think Uliamwana Kashuya touched upon civic education grade 10, 11, and 12. She needs to be schooled.
I hear she was a journalist. That's what I hear. She used to be a journalist. So for you to be a journalist, you must have
She was a
gone
what?
somewhere. A journalist. Journalist. That's what they.
Yeah. Okay, but okay.
So
She knows.
for you to be a journalist, you must have gone
But
through
yeah,
some education. Wako na ku college kashinga probably no naile katuishi.
yes.
That's why Shiva. You know?
Mhm.
But she was picked because being a journalist and
pikyalipo fe palya pali fye umupampamina okupama fye palya okupama fye filya, so I can be what I want. No one can stop me.
Abamutunkira kabye nombali na pape ne kabye ni bana.
Kai nomba espionage yo nombe ala lenga tasabaire kaiti. Ngabamupere fe criminal trespass.
Yeah, but espionage, this one is not an espionage case. I think we can call it what it is. This is not espionage. Espionage.
Hello? Espionage. Espionage ala musabaisha. Ala sabaila. Because there are a lot of things they will put across to her, which she has to defend herself.
Okay.
It's not, that was not just trespass, no. It was not just criminal. That was first of all, for lack of a better word, maybe unethical. And how can I put it?
It was a breach of national security because it's a breach.
You know, I can imagine. How many times have you driven on that road? When did you know that this man is the president of Zambia? When did you know that he is a president? What do you tell us what you know about someone being president? how accessible are they? What becomes of them when they become president? Knowing all those things you've told us, say it's the highest office of the land in the land is highly protected. Why do you behave that way? Can you justify your behavior? You have it very difficult. Even for the other man who's late now, once you've been to that highest office in the land, there are a lot of secrets that you keep at the expense of the nation. Therefore, people should not just have access to you anyhow. No. You may divulge. You may divulge some things where you look at him getting 80% of the incumbent salary. What is it that they want you to be doing? Do they want you to go and work somewhere? In an office? No. They want you to just sit, be quiet, provide guidance. Now, now, what more with someone who is ruling, someone who is in the seat of presidents? You go and flag power ma flag yanga panganda palya. Power yabilika.
There must be, yeah. I haven't really checked on that
one. There's one for head of government, and one for orange in presidential.
Oh, yeah, orange. Yeah, orange.
Then idea flag of Zambia government. You also have flag here. So ngapari orange flag pa place pala chinjaka. Once an orange flag is mounted at a place, pala chinja. I remember one time when there was a Winter Kabimba visiting our school.
Okay.
Acting president. Makalamba, he was coming. He was to visit the school on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday. Sunday night. Our place was full of bashushushu. Abaleshita fyabantu walwa. Wa head teacher ukwisa wapoka office. Bali wapoka office. Ukwansula makapet kuchecking ama draw monso kufumyamo. Babika muna phone ba special branch. Bakoma komako. Pata mpukulala na paramilitary officer batatu. Nama soja yatatu yale shinguluke skulu. That's how serious that office is. And that guy was just acting. Now, what more president? Eloiwe, as Faith Musonda, you go to invest his privacy at home. If she had done that at State House, well and good. If she had gone to the office, well and good. But
even it would have been the same thing. I mean, they would have surrounded, because I remember one time to ku Woodlands with my uncle. Motoka yasa ya tufira. Pa State House para pene fe boo. Ya fwa motoka.
Mulelanda kona wino.
Ya fumine. So dawa fe ba fuma mana nkari. Ama nankari ama ama Land Rover ya green ya na bakapoko la ba fuma.
Yes.
Tapa trena ishtira. Bafika pum. Mu uncle awe alondoro ya no moneni. Motoka ya tufuira. Turea Woodlands turea kumona bachiburuje ma nephews bangi abachacha amona veta frame fe genuine feta jenawe no problem efo bachitena nikare batweba no kutweba njeri no teti motoka ibe hapa ati twala mwafya will help you to pushing motoka twala pushing. We went to the other side kulia korodi kumbi watu ba push na motoka kuku and then he call ingesa balusha motoka but walampera for those short period of time you should be out of here, you can't be here.
Mweka ine na brother wandi walisapita kunuma ku State House kulia kwa amanda ma big officials kunuma ku State House kulia fio ya disa ipo fio motoka kuisapwa na fio yapo motoka So what do I do with my brother? That was around 15 hours. So sendaka container, letaka container, nde yanshite. Inenda sendaka container, namshana brother wandi motoka. Now in about 20 minutes, I just received a private number call. Hey, excuse me. We want to know where you are now. But who are you? We are at the place where we hear you have gone to look for fuel. We are with your brother who said your vehicle has run out of fuel. I said, yes, it's true. Our vehicle has run out of fuel. What type of car is it? Now it's a blue Toyota Corolla. What's the name of your brother? Muzandumacha. Where do you live? We stay in Kanyama. Where do you work yourself? I said, I'm a teacher. I teach at Landless Corner. Okay, that's what he has told us. But this area where your fuel has run out, not conducive enough. So just stop where you are right now. Now this I mean Wakaramba. In about 10 minutes time, some Corolla came, GRZ, straight to the filling station Wakaramba na ashita fuel. Push the fuel again back to that same place. Put the fuel, kick the vehicle, escorted. Who escorted? That was just near State House.
Yeah.
And that Kunuma, about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Now, uyo mwana kashi eka. Moto kamwadinshi. Was the car searched? What if there was an explosive? Espionage, you know, espionage na charge ya pose kwa mano mwe. Espionage ya pose kwa mano.
But I don't think it's going to hold that one. Just to be honest, on that one, I was reading a lot on that one. But I don't think what is going to stick. Yes, criminal trespass and breach of national security. Those two, there are two charges that are going to hold. Espionage, unless Vasanga information or that's why they went to search a house. Because they went to search a house.
Moto katabai searching it.
But I think they have done all those things. I think because I hear the next thing the police were at your house searching. So whatever they retrieved, if they retrieved some information that's related to espionage, that's why maybe they're saying a charge to Alamupera. You know?
Obvious bari mchenga tulange passport yobe. Show us your passport.
And tell us who you've been communicating with. Who have you been communicating with?
Tumone passport yobe, tumone nshimbi shiripo. Gabasanga tukuri mwe nshimbi ya ku South Africa.
Nama phone calls, ama bedtime stories. Nama instructions. Atuka chitefia so. This chapel.
Yeah, because for that lady and that offense she committed, yes, it's bailable, but the seriousness of the office, the person who stays at that house is what makes everything complicated. She could have even gone to the Minister of Justice, her home. In fact, that one is a fellow woman, hey?
Yes.
Hey, come on, hey. You know, I didn't think along those lines. Why couldn't she go to the Justice Minister's home? They could have even things could have even been sorted out from there. But you go to the president's house. No, that was wrong.
Yeah, that was purely wrong. Yeah,
but like we said, uriyo mwana kashikupa makulya alifo yapo bakateka alifo yapo bakateka ulya alifo yapo bakateka, so she knows what to do.
I know I'm pressing a wrong button because the church is not in that game.
Oh no, it's not that. It's not that
wrong. I'm pressing a button here very, very, very wrong. And you can imagine how you know our mother is feeling to say, Why is this person
Mhm.
coming to knock at 02 or 01,
Oh yeah.
whatever time?
Imwe bawishi
Huh?
nibawishi nani tatwabesha
What?
onesha bali bamini bawishitasila nga bali bawishi nani first imwe
I forget the names of the kids.
nibawishitasi bali bamini bawishitasila bali
No, I forget
bali
the name of
bawishi
the
nani
kids. Nalaba
ina
machina y'abana bakwe.
nalaipsha pa Facebook bawishitasile ko balinga bali nibawishi nani
Bali tafua y'abana bakwe to be online. He doesn't like it. He
he
doesn't want
doesn't
them
like
to be like, no, he doesn't. Tafua bali ma online chan. He rather than they just be, doing their own thing, and then him is doing his politics away from
yes
politics anyway. Live a life away from politics, which is, I think, which is a very good move because you avoid issues like this whereby tasira bamupera fe nani kane bamupera fe seat muchawama yali yakumpera fe ile yakwe bati kuwamvya fya maka
amaka yes amaka
ni twakupera yo chawama yo. It wasn't really like it was popular or anything like that. Nothing like that.
Ilya panga echechirya where even comes out and says, can you exclude my mother from social cash transfer? That is made that public. Huh? My mother should be removed from social cash transfer. Don't give her anything. She is entitled, but no, don't. Chimonava, they will not participate in some businesses because they will be using a name. And when they use the name of the president, some people will be stifled. They will not participate well. The ground will be unleveled. It will be unfair. So,
which is true. Yeah, well, welcome. But Danny has joined us. I think he's having a good time. He's back in Puerto Rico. He's having a good time.
Puerto Rico at the beach.
But Danny, how are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I went for grocery shopping.
You can't be sorry about Danny. You are just fulfilling the duty.
I went because I just arrived yesterday. My fridge was empty.
Okay.
So I went out to get some few things here and there.
You went to the fueling station.
Yeah.
No drinks, no nothing in the fridge.
It was all empty and no whatever.
At least I had something in the fridge. You can see.
I can see that.
I had something at least.
Yeah. So the
you just caught us when we're talking about the lady. Well, we talked about the lady Faith Musonda.
Yeah.
The audacity that she has to go and knock on HH's door at 01. What powers does she hold? Does she know something that we don't know? Why would she wake up? Like, who in the world would go? Even me, I would kutina tina feno kutina. 0 to 1, 0 awkward hour.
The truth on the ground is that Faith Musonda it's very shocking how she passed through the security and found herself inside the gate and even to knock on the door.
Okay, hold on, but doctor. You're telling me that she actually passed the gate? I thought you had a paper gate.
No.
Yeah?
She was found inside.
Then there's another version.
Yeah, this thing is complex. This borders on the line of supernatural powers. She passed the security. You think you can be arrested for going to someone's gate? That's not trespassing. Trespassing means you have entered someone's house. If I go to any person's house and I'm knocking on the door, I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't gone into his private.
That's why they have put the door for you to knock.
Yes, but you pass through security and go in then that becomes another issue.
Then I must admit I don't know that part of story.
You can't be arrested to go to State House and stand by the gate. You will not. You can't go to community house and stand on the gate. I want to see someone inside and you 01. You will not be arrested. You haven't gone inside. What have you done? They will just chase you. Say, hey, this is an awkward hour. Go away. That's okay.
Like the examples were given. Remember when even me, like when I was traveling to Woodlands, we were just sharing ideas and stories with someone. You know, imotoka yasa tufika parapele past State House. Vaisa bafuma fe short period of time. Boom, boom, boom. Bayofuma na Land Rover green. No. Shesheni motoka. Kabieni kunya pakanga mwalungesha. Ero mwalafuma. And then they were there watching us.
Yeah.
You know?
This is more than that.
So how did she manage to pass through the gates? That's a big question.
Is our president safe?
She was invisible.
Is our president safe?
Ama gadi kuba smaila fe manani kana ama gadi ba masoja ba gadi kuma smaila fe kasma fe fin. Tato ingire.
Well, you were gassing. No, Faith Musonda violated the privacy of HH. She went past security. She didn't just end Pagate. Pagate, she was gonna be turned off. That's it. That was the end of the story. That's why she's having. That's why she was arrested. You can't be arrested by being on HH's house front gate. That's not. Okay.
No, maybe we need to see the footage.
Yes. This is a little bit tricky now.
She violated the privacy of that premises.
That's a huge security breach.
Yes, that's why she's held.
And those guys need to be fired. First off,
not fired, detained. Don't fire such people. You detain them.
Because there's no way.
There's a lot of theories about this. A lot of theories. Some of them border beyond our human imagination. Some of them border on the supernatural magic. Sent by some Mozambican somewhere.
Oh, hello, Maya Nomboko. Maybe she had some charms. No. Maybe she had some charms in the handbag.
Iron dome. Anyway, we'll hear more. We'll hear more. But
we'll hear more.
We don't know.
It's not as simple as standing on someone's gate. I've stood on people's gates at midnight at 01. I've never been arrested. Okay, you can go to the White House and stand outside the gate there. Nobody will arrest you. Okay, it's only when you pass security breach when you get arrested. You can go anywhere, down, even in any prime minister, Trudeau's house there in Ottawa, you can go there. I mean, the prime minister of Canada, you can go and stand by the gate at midnight.
Yeah.
And the security are there. There's no one who's going to arrest you. You're outside the premises. You can't be arrested for breaching security by being outside the gate. It won't happen.
That's true.
She went beyond.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the other thing I wanted to that's that one. I think we'll hear more. There's this circulating thing that they have charged treason, which is fake. Whatever.
Espionage.
That's fake because there's no court that work on Saturday. That report was done, or they've done. It was on Saturday morning that they charged her. She hasn't appeared before court yet, so that's a fake production.
So that's fake, okay.
That's fake. That's not true. But we'll hear more. But the fact is that she breached security.
Okay. So now, I was watching Makebi Zulu is our next topic. Makebi Zulu. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch that interview that he had with
On SABC.
Face the Nation, that program. The
Yeah,
guy
I watched.
went on the rampage. I'm like, so surely Makebi Zulu is classified or maybe made to us to see that he's a top-notch lawyer.
Top notch.
That's what what we know or what we hear. He's a guy that is always winning and he's always being there. In court. But the way he was explaining things, I started questioning myself to say, like, look, is this guy really there for the family, the Zambian people, or is just there for his pockets? Okay, because the journalist was asking him direct questions, and he just fumbled to say, "Oh, there cannot be a state funeral. They can be a state funeral without a president."
The president. The president is not the state. Those are semantics. Those are semantics. Those are semantics. You can't separate the president from the state. Maybe he meant the president of a political party. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
A political party, but you mean if he meant the president of the country, maybe he should have said the president of Zambia and the head of state called Zambia. If you have sense, but the fact that it's just the president and what is open speculation. You can't charge him. He will ask you to say, but I just meant the president. Did I refer to the HH? Mama na nomba baloya mwali shupa. I just meant the president. Did I mention the name? Yes. Did I say President HH? But the truth of the matter is that guy has become big-headed. He's, if anything, there must be something going on with him. One, you don't torment the dead. You don't torment like the dead like that. The government now has a basis to say courts work with the written things, eh? A will. Where is the will which he left? Because alandati uyu eka palamina ko, is it written? If there's nothing written, then
I'll be very interested to see Ilungu's will. I'll be very, very much interested. There's
no will.
Will.
No, the argument of Makebi Zulu and the family doesn't hold water. And they know that they are not going to win this case. So that's why you see them talking, trying to attract attention. Because all signs are pointing towards them losing an argument in this South African court. And that's the reason why they start talking. For example, when someone realizes that I don't have a chance here, that's why they're talking without being asked questions. Okay, the Zambian government has filed in those things and they have kept quiet. But for them, they want to agitate the waters and try to talk almost every day. Why? Because they are scared of the outcome. The outcome is going to be in favor of Zambian people. So
yes,
that's why they are very agitated in a way. They want to. What can I say? They want to look genuine in any way or the other, in one way or the other. So that's the thing. This is not sitting well for them. They can see all the signs that they're going to lose, and Lungu's body will be brought to Zambia and be buried there.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why they're worried, and they want to make things, Because their arguments are, for example, you can't say Lungu died a private citizen, so he should be buried a private citizen. And
It
yet,
doesn't even make sense.
yes, and yet you go and sign for the approval of acceptance of Madam Esther Lungu's conditions as a widow of the former president. So how do you accept benefits this side to say, oh, he was the former president, so the widow is entitled to this. On the other side, you say, no, Lungu didn't have entitlement, he was a private citizen. So the two don't match. If you say Lungu was a private citizen, he died without any conditions of service and all this, they got them away from him, then why are you giving conditions to Esther Lungu? And you, as Makebi Lungu, has accepted that condition that, oh, yeah, she'll get this, she's entitled to this, she's entitled to this. Because Esther Lungu, right now, she's already started enjoying the benefits of for the widow of a former president. So she's already enjoying those benefits right as we speak right now. So if you're saying he was a private citizen, then Esther Lungu should say, no, I don't want those benefits. Because my husband was a private citizen, not a former president. So you can't accept this side, you accept the conditions. The other side, you say, no, he was stripped of all the conditions. But if he was stripped of the conditions, why are we giving the conditions to the wife and you as the lawyer have accepted those conditions? You know, there's a carrot. From now on, Esther is a widow and she's entitled to this, she's entitled to this. Now, but then you say, but no, then you say he didn't have conditions. He didn't have conditions, but the wife is enjoying the conditions. How can it be it's one way or the other? You know, that's
no, this is very serious because if you look at Avena Makebi's, that's why lawyers. I don't really trust lawyers, really, to be honest, because they are there to make their money. They would even defend umuntu who it's not even right, or somebody who's guilty, they will defend him. But
yeah.
But anyway, that's him. That's how he's seeing things or doing things. But at the end of the day, this tit for tat, there should be a stop to it. I think the Zambian people now are saying, like, look, we have had enough of it. I mean, what else do you want to? What else do you want to milk? Out of a dead cow. What else do you want to milk out of it? He's dead. He's dead. That's it. There's no way he can be revived, even if they prolong the all these arguments and all this. I think bottom line, I think they are trying to negotiate themselves away from all the pending criminal charges that they have in court. I think that's the bargaining chip. At the end of the day, they're masking it right now, but bottom line, that's why they're doing all this. Because there's no way all this, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I think they're trying to say, look, if they can just agree to this, that's why even people in the PF are saying, President HH should apologize. Apologize for what? Or President HH should drop their charges first. Oh, then this government or this country will be ungovernable because Muntuli Onse, dropping our charges are in court. Then what are we saying? The system is then you put the blame on the president. Say the president has got a hand in all these things. If it's got nothing to do with HH. It's not him to say, oh, can you drop the charges? Can you do this? Can you? No. Those things will still continue. Gavaisa Zambia, it will still follow them until they prove their case.
Yeah.
Until they prove their case. Okay.
See that thing of dropping the charges. That thing of dropping the charges should not even come about. What should happen is.
So we'll see what happens.
They should do that.
Yeah, to me, Zambians are tired now. I saw a report for relatives in Eastern Province that are saying, we want our person here. I don't know what's going on. Now everybody's There are
I
very
saw
few
that one.
people. You saw that, yeah? The
I was like,
cousins.
kanshi balungu bali kwatana wa bruru bakwe kanshi. I was
They
shocked.
have a Bruno, but the Bruno that, yeah, they were not really into his life, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just looking at the village where they live. It sounds like an ordinary person to just a place where an ordinary person lives.
I think he neglected his relatives around, I think, because I think he didn't grow with them. So I think
Uh-huh.
they were not in his picture. But I think they are present, but they were not just in his picture because I think he didn't grow close to them. I think that's what happened with him.
Because
Otherwise,
there was at the sister, the brother, and the aunt.
yeah.
Alikuwa tako
It,
na
it's
sisters hivi.
it's that type of relationship probably where you grow up.
Eh,
You're now a lawyer, you are well established, and that's when the relatives now come and say, "Hey, you are a Brulu." But in
uh-huh.
the meantime, when you were struggling in the beginning, no one was around you. So I've seen that in some families where someone will
Mhm.
just put these people abed, say, "You know what?
Mm,
I'm now 40 years old, and that's when you want to come and see me." When I was struggling, when I was 5 years, 6 years, you are nowhere to be seen. Now I'm 40 years and I'm successful. I'm now just doing this, and that's when you want to come in. It's most likely Lungu's situation.
mm,
Otherwise, those people are there.
mm,
But I
mm,
think he just put them aside. I think he just pushed them, say, "You know what? I don't need you."
mm. Carolina.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that's the case with his family.
that's another way of looking at it. But another way of looking at it is the Siwale's angle, where he was saying his name is Jonathan Mutawari. He's not a Zambian. He's from Malawi.
We're
You
yet
know,
to see the Zimbabwe passport.
So it's out there. Information is there. It's in public domain. And Mlongoti and Abasiwale, they were there on TV, national TV, with saying that they've got evidence to prove that he is not a Zambian. His real name is actually Jonathan Mutaware. So that's something else that can be looked at. But I don't know what you think, gentlemen. Go on.
And the
Yeah.
two the two are not the two are not alive anymore to speak. They could have been exonerated, and so they would have said, "Look what we're telling you about. There's an identity theft here."
Yeah.
Because if really this man was the Lungu, these problems could not have arisen. But there's really an identity crisis here. But this Festus Swari, is he not around? Is he alive?
Yeah. They say
Festus Swari,
which one? The one you
Precious
got the name?
Precious Wale is around.
Yeah.
What is he saying?
Pesha Shiwale was arrested and tortured. He was almost killed, if you remember,
Yeah.
because of this. He was arrested and tortured. After that torture, he kept quiet. After that torture, he kept quiet. And he was saying that he went through hell, the way they tortured him.
Just for saying that Lungu was not Zambia.
Yes. He was tortured really like where they took him, they put him in like he went somewhere where he didn't even recognize. By the time they were torturing him after that, when he came out there, he was sick. He was sick, I think, for some time. After that torture, he was sick, and then he kept quiet. I think he was like, I'll go to freedom with into it. But he was very, very keen on the TV. He's alive. He's there. Maybe one day he's going to come up and speak up for himself. But when he was, I used to follow that. Was it? No, was it Diamond TV? No. It was Prime TV actually. Prime TV. In fact, with our very own. I think I need to Max Mue. I think I need to go and ask Max Mue. With Max Mue, he used to bring both Shwale, Fresher Shwale, and the late Mulongoti. May he so rest in peace. He used to bring them both, and they used to say these things publicly. We're saying that the information is there and the evidence is there. They have it to prove it. And then he said, if you want to take me to court, bring evidence. I want to see the challenge was telling him, like, can you produce your NRC? I want to see it. That's what you used to ask. Like, produce your NRC, and I'll produce the NRC that I have. That's what he was saying. So anyway, we cannot speak on that matter because somebody else, died, and then the other one, maybe is still alive. But maybe one day he's going to reveal these things again. But we don't really know, and that's why the speculation was there to say, oh, maybe he's not a true Zambian because we don't know his family. Now his family is suddenly coming up, and people are getting surprised. Like the other sister that's in South Africa with the family right now, who knew that he had a sister? Nobody knew. And I remember a story. I think who was telling the story? They went to campaign in the Eastern Province. One of the teams, his campaign team, they passed through his village, and people were surprised to say, like, he didn't even say, like, I want to stop and greet my grandmother or my relative. They just passed, and people started thinking, but this is his village. Why doesn't he allow us to stop and say hello to his people? You see? So all those questions, all those things, if you go back in history, everything is on the internet. We're not making this up. Published Facebook.
It's in public domain.
It's in the public domain. If French Ashwali is still alive, even if I forget his name, that other old man, from Unip time, he used to say the same thing as well. So it's questionable. I don't know if it's right or wrong or true, but that's why all this mystery now about the body. No, if he doesn't, he shouldn't be near the body. People shouldn't. Only a few selected members of the family should witness the body viewing. The rest should not witness the body viewing. So, what is the secrecy about that body?
Maybe we shall tell that it's not him.
What is the secrecy? I mean, why are people why is the family so agitated about a body viewing? And why are they so agitated about HH coming? What can HH do? Somebody's already dead. What can HH do to the body?
Listen.
Because we don't trust him, we don't trust the government, so the family doesn't want him to be near the body.
The one who should say does not trust the other one is HH. HH should say he does not trust Lungu. Remember when they met at Rupia Banda's residence, and that guy, the late, was to accept defeat. Oh, yeah,
I remember that one.
Who should trust who here? No, sometimes let's be serious. There's every evil about the late. He had evil. Now we get into Mutumbo lefo chifunye upo shevana. Now what change that? I want that hand. No. And you are the one who's saying, and Ewa Shana Mashawati, he should not see my body. Maybe I'm at Chimbo.
I forgot about that one.
No. It's sometimes it's not just okay. It's not okay because to set conditions, paying last respect. How was HH going to pay his last respect?
Yeah, that's true. How?
No ways. Makebi varia. And Makebi is a Christian. Makebi should read the Bible and especially what it says about the dead. They know nothing. Edgar knows nothing of what is happening. If he was to wake up from the grave and find this drama here, he would be very disappointed. You want to bury me where my people are not there in South Africa? Take me to the people, Zambia. Because it just doesn't hold water that he left those words. Word of mouth is not admissible in a court of law as evidence.
Yeah.
It's never. At least if they had even forced him to write something before he died, well and good. But when you want to tell lies, that God like removes that wisdom he has put in you and lets you to operate on your own. Twalapanga pati obamdala ndati yakuli ukumbonanga nafa. Once mwe wali muntu omufanayi, we should just maintain that statement. But Mwalava, you as a lawyer, I said, in a court of law, word of mouth is not admissible. Unless something written, ngabali panga aka fast nangu forging ape signature yakwe nangu handwriting. There was going to be something by now. But no, they were not wise enough. Court will just say, okay, where is it written that he said this one should not attend to my funeral? I don't want to be buried in Zambia. Where is it written? Lack of that means the case is thrown out. You are burying in Zambia. Nangutabesheko kuchirilo. Zambians can bury Lungu. It's not difficult to bury. After all, he was a former head of state. The army can do that. Former commander-in-chief. Commander-in-chief. Mwashika somewhere. No. Makebi should even be careful when the burial is over. He can be sued, that one. It's not very difficult. He can be sued.
Yeah,
because the constitution of Zambia is clear. Someone who works against, who goes against the constitution, what offense can they be given?
Yeah, the lawyers will know what to come up with.
Yes. Because the constitution is clear. He will be buried, head of state funeral, straight.
I don't think the South African government is going to go against the Zambian government.
No, I doubt that 100%.
That's government.
No way government of South Africa would say, Zambian government, no, we're giving this body to the family. I don't think so.
No.
Just
do
that
you know
diplomatic.
Do you know what the South African government is even doing right now?
Yeah.
They are trying to relocate most of the remains of the freedom fighters who died in Zambia and are buried. They are relocating those remains from Zambia to South Africa.
Okay.
Well, they did that. They did that. Most of them have already been relocated and they've been reburied. It was some years back. There was some years back when they came.
There are some that have not been known where they were buried. They are still looking for them. Yes, they are still looking for them.
Okay.
If they are doing that, if they are still doing that, how can they just allow the head of state to be buried with? No.
But you know, the funny thing is this: even the South African people themselves, Zimbabweans, they're looking at us like, what's wrong with
them?
Okay, because if you hear it's all over social media right now. Everybody's talking about it, and they're saying like, we as Zambia as a sovereign nation, there's no way a former head of state can be buried in a different land. And the local people there are saying, anyway, hold on, okay. Can somebody send that link to Vakazia? I keep on sending to him. I can't because I'm using the same phone streaming here. If you guys can just send that link to Vakazia, he wants to join.
Okay, let me send it to him.
So what's happening is most of the South Africans are saying like, why come to South Africa to bury a foreign person on our land when he has land where he lives? Okay, he's got land where he lives where he can be properly buried. Why come to take space in our country? So the South Africans are asking these questions to say why, and I'm sure the South African government is also saying like, I don't think, even if how compassionate they can be and how the situation is for the Lungu family, which I think is they're just being political. Really, it's nothing about being compassionate at this point. They're saying they would rather they bury the remains of Lungu in Zambia. They're saying that. I mean, it's in public domain. But they're insisting, no, we want him to be buried here. What are the reasons? And if we want to say, okay, we can agree to say, yes, he can be buried in Zambia, but HH should not be available, or HH should not be there. HH should not be there. Like, how can they? That's what the question people are asking. Like, how is there going to be a state funeral without the state president? What kind of respect is he going to give to our local, to the people of Zambia? And what kind of precedents are we going to set from now going forward? Because umuntu fengafa, they can be buried anywhere, or umuntu afa, he can choose to say, I don't want that one, I don't want. We have a tradition, and the tradition is well known. And on that point, I was actually watching Kaweche Banda, Kaweche Kaunda, on TV. He said that, look, this same thing happened to us as a family. We wanted our father, KK, the first president, to be buried next to Mama Betty Kaunda. But Lungu's government said, no, we have a tradition. All former heads of state are buried at Embassy Park. The same Lungu, again, it has happened now to him. Now him is, I don't know how special he is, where he should not be buried at Embassy Park. Have you seen this conundrum of a doctor? What, Doc, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. The biggest problem we are having here, which is different from the past problems, is the demand that nobody should see the body other than the family.
Which is
That's
weird.
number one. Number two, the demand that HH should not be near the body. Okay, so that's the biggest challenge which is here. Those two demands have never ever been presented to the government in the past similar situations. It's only now this family is saying we don't want the sitting president to see the body. And two, at the moment, we only want the family to see the body, nobody else. There's no way you can bury a president without body viewing. Okay.
Yeah.
So those demands are very, very, very different and very difficult to compromise.
Very weird.
The government is faced with these demands which have never been faced before. All the former presidents have never, funerals have never given these type of demands. It's only the Lungu family that have given these demands. And these demands are unreasonable. Very unreasonable. And that's the reason why we have this impasse. It's because of those two. Without those demands or those, I don't think we're going to be in this situation. Because everything else is straightforward. But once you say nobody should do the body viewing, two, a sitting president should never see this body. No, it will not happen. Those are the demands which have never happened. There's no family Chiluba's family, Satans family, what they have never given those. The only conditions were, oh, can we bury them next to their wives or something like that.
Mm.
But these guys have given these very tough conditions,
Mm.
which are almost impossible to fulfill. That's what I see myself.
Yeah, that's very true, and that's very true, and it's an impossible demands, and it doesn't even make sense really, and that's what I was saying when I was watching Makebi Zulu the other day. It did even make sense, like what he was saying, and the way he was explaining things to me. I was like, mm-mm. It doesn't even sound right. I mean, it doesn't even sound like a lawyer talking, and it was just something else. I'm like, this is not the way like you can explain things. Like people want to know. The journalist asked him direct questions. He was answering them in indirectly, like answering them in using some jargons. Trying to sound political, trying to sound like a lawyer. Like, what demands do you have? But no, we don't have demand. Okay. I mean, no. Just as the wishes of the family is accepted, and that's it. And you agree with the fact, and they should not be body viewing. So the people of Zambia, everybody that's watching, there will be no body viewing. You won't
Yeah.
even see you just know that there will be no body viewing. There won't be a body for Lungu for you to see. It will be just at least let's say it's a closed casket. And
Yeah.
and the only reason when you do something like that, when somebody was a soldier, he died with a bomb or something like that, and then there's nothing to be recognized, and then you put a closed casket. Okay. And so now they should tell us: is it going to be a closed casket or is it going to be an open casket? If it's going to be an open casket, just for the family only to view, and not for everybody else. No Zambian can go there and witness it
Imagine.
or view Balungu. Okay, so those issues are really, really high there, and baffling for a lot of Zambians. Now, moving ahead, I don't know if you saw the Binwa Mpundu has been on on the internet or in parliament causing trouble. Oh man,
Yeah. I
I
saw
was
that.
just I was just watching. I'm like, this guy is there. Sometimes when you've got a point, but you're busy screaming, people won't get your point because you're just screaming. Like, yeah, but who are you trying to scream to? I'm like, who are you? You wanna you shout? Eh? You know, you wanna you dream? So Babino Mpunde, like he was there in Parliament trying to discuss the supplementary budget to say, oh no, why are we, coming up with a supplementary budget by borrowing instead of using our own local resources? Okay,
No,
I heard
he's
that, but go ahead.
he's not saying that. His problem is why are we borrowing? This supplementary budget is going to be borrowed within from the local banks.
Mhm.
What he's saying is there's that handling fee of 1% for the whoever is going to process this is 1%
Mhm.
handling fee,
Mhm.
and he's saying that who is this person going to get that 1%?
Mhm.
Okay, that is his question. He's asking us to um, who is the
Mhm.
person going to handle this 1%? What someone is benefiting out of here? Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, and that's why the speaker literally he was insisting to say someone is going to chew money. That handling fee of one
Mhm.
percent of the, and two,
Mhm.
he's at the same time he's saying let's not borrow because he's saying
Mhm.
if we borrow from the local banks, the local um, the local medium scale and all these companies will not have access to money.
Mhm.
So he's saying we should not borrow from the local banks.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
should not do that because that's going to take away a lot of money from circulation. But
Mhm.
what it doesn't understand is what it doesn't understand for the government to say we have run out of money, we need to borrow more. There are government projects or government initiatives that need to be funded. Okay, so it's unfair for him to just say we should not borrow. First of all, because if we borrow, then that farmer in Chisamba and that what in Mongo will not be able to borrow from the banks because the banks will have not enough money to give to the other ordinary citizens.
Uh,
Two, he's insisting on why put that 1% handling fee for this process and
mm,
who is benefiting out of that 1%. Because
mhm,
for him, when he calculates that 1% out of the, I don't know, 700 and something million,
mm,
whatever, kwacha, whatever, I don't know how many millions, he said
mm.
that's a substantial amount. And he was insisting that the Minister of Finance should tell us who is getting that 1% handling fee. So that was the thing in Parliament. But they refused to tell him that, and then he started shouting and calling names, people, and oh, he Kalafia, Po, Chan, what.
Uh,
So he is not very diplomatic. I mean, he's not very honorary in his behavior in Parliament.
mm,
He speaks as if he's speaking to his fellow friend on the street.
mm. On the
But,
streets.
but I think he needs to change the way of looking at things as a
Mm,
honorary person in Parliament. There
mm,
should be protocol followed, and the
mm,
language used should be filtered. You cannot speak like that. You and I were chimutwe, ikalapo,
mm,
ikalafyoko, iwe, what.
mm.
You know that
Yateke
type of talk.
panchi.
Yes. So it's not right for him to be exhibiting that type of behavior in Parliament. That's a house that makes laws that everybody follows, and if he is a lawmaker and then him doesn't follow those rules, I
Mhm,
think it's unfortunate that that's happening. So that's the thing about Bino Mpundo, and that brings me to maybe I can just connect the two
mm,
um, to the evaluation of these. I know we're going to talk about it because this topic came, or this suggestion I gave you to talk about how we're going to be evaluating these MPs, because what I see now is MPs, some of the MPs, they just want to make noise in Parliament,
mm,
and to me, that is not the reason why we basically took them there. We took them there for two reasons: one, to make laws for the country; two,
mm,
to foresee development, to foster development in their constituencies, to make sure that their people's needs are heard and then addressed by the government in their constituencies. But what I'm looking at now, what I'm realizing is that there's some MPs like Bino Mpundu that just want to make a name of shouting, making noise in parliament and doing also. To them, that is what a good MP is all about. Shout, just like personal type of kuimwenesha parliament.
mm,
I think the focus of our MPs, why we send them there, is to focus on people's needs in their constituencies, not coming to make noise like Bino Mpundu has started doing now. It's like for him, it's now what can I say? It's a normal thing for him to come there and cause commotion in parliament. Talk when
mm.
I what yeah. So it's not why we sent Binwell there.
No.
They should evaluate him when they go to the constituency. Are the people as needs being addressed or not? You know, because some of these MPs, to be honest, people have sent them to parliament, but they never go back to their constituencies until the elections time come. And some of them they got the money, they put it in the bank together with the bank manager somewhere, and the interest is accruing. They are not using the money in their constituencies. I know there's that little tug of war between the council and the MPs and stuff, but still, the MPs are supposed to champion the development projects in their constituencies. But I can see the majority are not doing that. The majority are sitting there, and sometimes just
Mm,
making these statements, start shouting at each other across the aisle and all that. To me, that's not supposed to be the core reason why we appointed them. They should really focus on the people and I think they have lost it. They have lost it. It's a bunch of guys coming there, going to National Assembly Motel and drink their heads off, drive nice Land Cruisers, and then go home and do this. The people are not in the picture. The people are not in the picture. I've heard a lot of debates in Parliament since they started this parliamentary TV.
Mm.
I've never ever heard of a single MP. Maybe not. Let me not use never ever. I rarely hear MPs talk in Parliament on behalf of their people. Zero. All they're talking about is this. Nothing to do with the people they represent in Parliament. Nothing. Joseph Musanje does it. He talks every time he comes. He stands up. He's gonna talk about the people of Mbabala, people of Mbalaba. We are doing people of Mbabala, that bridge, people of Mbabala, but the rest, no. The rest are talking about, Madam Speaker, this, nothing to do with their constituency. Nothing at all. Which is very, very, very sad. I don't know
Very,
what.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we welcome Vakazia and Vachitumba. We got two new entrants. Vachitumba, welcome. You've been away. Vachitumba, just introduce yourself, and then after that, Vakazia, then we continue with the program. Vachitumba, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Yeah, so you've come at the time that we've tackled most of the topics. We've talked about Faith Musonda. We've talked about Makebi Zulu, the Lungu family, and now we are on Binwell Mpundu and his, unparliamentary behavior that has been displaying lately, in Parliament. So those are the issues that we're discussing. I don't know if you want to tap on whatever topic you want to discuss. You can go ahead and tap in, and then our resident PS Vakazia can come in.
Okay, thank you very much. And how are you? What I can see what Danny Wakazi, a long time we've missed you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think maybe I can maybe start with the issue for Binwe Ompondo, the behavior in Parliament. Yeah, I think for me it's very, very unfortunate. Yeah, because looking at the Parliament, the way it turned into, and that kind of behavior. I think that is where laws are made from, and it should be respected. And those titles, those people that they have, honorable. I think it should be shown to people to say, yes, really, these are honorable member of parliament. Even if when you meet them, yes, you say, I'm meeting a member of parliament. But looking at the behavior, that kind of behavior should be parliament behavior, and the behavior from the street should be different. But what you see, that kind of behavior from the street, and those people, they are readers. As a reader, they carry a huge responsibilities in terms of the way they conduct themselves, the way they behave. It should show to say, yes, this one is a reader. But that kind of way, I think I watched that that day of parliament where he say Yateke Panshi, and also another day where he said Ichumutwe. I think that one is not sitting well. Even if how much you are provoked, but as a reader should have uh, that kind of quality, leadership quality, how to resolve a problem. Even if how much, even if people they provoke you, you have to cool down to bring the temper down, and then you show even when you are debating. Even though those people are provoking you, they even show that they are ready to Yes, it's not me that when we send those people in parliament, um, those people they are educated than those people outside. No, it's just that it's their time. As people outside here, we are able to see and analyze to say this conduct is not okay, and it's not mean that they are absolutely they have the monopoly of wisdom. No, they don't have. It's just the opportunity that they have at this particular time to be in parliament. They are not the first time, and they will never be the last people to be in parliament. Other people will come. There are people who've been in that parliament, but that conduct, as you can see, that's the same conduct that Munia Zulu also had, which was not sitting well. Binwe Mpundu think that he is very educated, very wise. Whatever he say, it's very true. That's what the way things should be. There are people who are educated and who know what is there. They are supposed also to give a view so that they conduct themselves, I think, in a manner which even us when we are watching, we say yes. How can you go and waste time to watch that kind of behavior? You waste your time. Those people who follow through online, they are wasting bundles to watch that kind of behavior. What development are they bring when something they are conducting if they are conducting themselves in that manner? That is very, very unfortunate and very, very unparliamentary. And I think maybe going forward, I don't know, as voters, we have to know the types of person, the kind of person that you are voting, not that kind of people, not that kind of behavior. It will not take us anywhere.
Right.
We'll be just,
Rightly said. Yeah.
yes.
Rightly said. Okay. So we got Wakazia, and of course we've got Nicholas has joined us. So Wakazia, you can go in first, and then like I said, you've come at the time. We've already discussed Faith Musonda, Makebi Zulu, the Lungu family, Binwe Ompundu. That's where we are now. I don't know what topics you want to tackle, where you want to come in.
Well, I've been listening in the background, and thank you very much, colleagues. Doc Danny has not been picking my WhatsApp calls. I've been calling him like crazy. Doc, how are you? I miss you, my brother.
No, he was saying the same thing with you, that you don't pick up his calls.
No. I think not on this one. I think I've been trying much more. I sent him a very good text. I think he knows. I will just put a position that the things that you have already spoken about. Number one, for the issues to do with Lungu, I stand with the family. That is my position. I think the family has the right to decide how the funeral is going to proceed, and that is just it. And the suing of adding other things to that case just complicates it. We must be able to move over and beyond that. The next thing that I have to speak about is the issue to do with parliamentary behavior. And this time we've tagged on to look at Binwe Wampundu. But if you look at what Binwe, the behavior of Binwe is not the only one. Me, I will not just take sides that because Binwe. This is the same behavior you saw Jack Mwimbu portray in the last parliament. He was calling people stupid, you an idiot, and things like that. We've had Gary Nkombo insulting on the floor of the house, and it has been degenerating. Now we are going now into this process where people are calling each other Ichumutu, hey, Kalapanchi, what, hey, you must Freemason and things like that. I think the decorum of the house has really gone bad, because you see also the members of parliament must know when your friend stands up to speak, why should you interject him? And why should you think that you have a right to interject your friend without him getting upset? So I think the speaker needs to do much more, and also the speaker herself needs to watch what she says to the people. You can't be taking a partisan stance when you are, even if the party is misbehaving or they have failed to organize themselves. It's not your role to go and tell them to say, go and fix your party. It is the party itself to go and fix itself. That kind of misconduct by the speaker creates a room for other further misconduct that we're going to see. But I think it is not showing a good parliamentary image when we have language that is not parliamentary, language that doesn't inspire anybody to actually watch what is being debated in Parliament. I think it's high time that Parliament lived by its rules. And if it's free debate, let it be done. Let's have the people that are interjecting be the ones to also be the instigators to actually be dealt with. Because if even here on this forum, if someone interjects, the host usually say, then you can come in. I think that is the conversation that we also need to have so that people must understand why they're in Parliament and the questions that are being arisen. Bino Mpundu's questions are very, very cardinal. He raised the one point which is very important, and if we are not careful, we'll be starting to discuss his behavior and leave the substance matter. He asked the 1%. Who is going to get the 1% handling fee? Because we're talking about $14 billion, I think. 14 billion in kwacha, if I'm not mistaken, which is almost like $1 billion. So $1 billion, what is 1% of $1 billion? Who is that person who's going to get that 1% to handle the money and stuff like that? No one is explaining that. I think if we look at it from that point of view, it is going to create a bigger conversation, and a conversation that should be able to enhance our transparency and accountability in the midst of things that are going on. That is my submission.
Thank you, Bakazia. Thank you, Bakazia. Now, Nicholas, if you can just come in and discuss. Are you live today? So we got discussed Ilias Iliaba, Faith Namsonda, Makebi Zulu, Lungu family. Now we're at Binwe Mpundu. Whatever topic you want to discuss or tackle, feel free to do that. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I think you've said everything. Me, I'll just add maybe on Thethi Musonda. Thethi Musonda, what she did, it's not right. I can say the time PF was in the ruling part. A UPN member can't do that without being beaten. You see, so Faith Msonda went there where our president stays, in the compound where our president stays. He breached the law. He breached the law, so I can say that he must face the law because no one allowed to do what she did. That is the reason why she's behind the bars. You see, that is the reason why they have given 20 years behind the bars. You see, because what she did, I can say that it's a very big offense. It's a very big offense what she did. So that's what I can say. Then coming back to Lungu's family and the government, me, I can stand to the government because every president or every former president or every president, when he or her dies, we've got where to bury them. We've got our park where to bury the former president or even the president when he died. We must bury him there. That is the I can say that's the constitution. You see, so Lungu's family must just obey what the government are saying. Quite all right. We can differ here and there, but they must just accept what the government are saying, because we know that the border for the former president Edgar Chagwa Lungu, we know that he's got the family. Yeah, they are the family there to make decisions, to do what they want to do. But also, they must also follow the constitution, what is saying, because Lungu came. The time Lungu, he was not in active politics. he came back in active politics. That's the time. That's the time Lungu went to, because what I can say is this: our former president Edgar Chagwa Lungu, he was the president. So 2021. And then Edgar Chagwa Lungu came the former president. So since he was the former president, he was entitled to be getting paid. He was entitled to be staying in a government house. So Edgar Chagwa Lungu, the mistake he made, it's to come back in politics, to be active in politics. That is the big mistake he made. This is the reason why they are saying that the Lungu's family, this is the reason why they are saying that our president was not keeping well Lungu. Because Lungu, he was active, he was in active politics. You see, how can you keep someone who is in active politics, who is your opponent? You can't keep him. You see, so the time Lungu came as a active politics, he lost everything which he was supposed to get, because it was just, even at the time he was sick, our government UPND, we were supposed to look on Lungu, but he was in active politics. That is the reason why Lungu, he was doing everything for himself. You see, so the family for the Lungu's family must just let the government do their part. The families for Lungu, they can do their part, and also the government, they can do their part. That's so. That's what I can say. That's what I can say. Anything I will come in.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that submission. Thank you very much. And so everybody knows that you can be comfortable in speaking whatever language you're comfortable with here. We don't penalize anybody. So
Machanda.
Rane. So
Machanda.
Mkwai.
Yeah, I want just maybe to add on a bit on the Makebi and the Lungu's family.
Okay, real quick before we go into we have to go into developmental programs now. Talk about what we've done. We have to.
Okay, thank you.
Before we Kwenyula, go ahead.
Before Kwenyu, yeah.
Kwenyu.
So maybe on the quick one, I watched the interviews for Makebi Zuru in South Africa, and what I can say, looking on those on that particular interviews, I don't know if the family and also Makebi, if they really paid attention to the question that that journalist was asking. He was those questions that he asked. Actually, it was like telling them what they are supposed to do. It was not really the interview. It was telling them. But he can't come like in direct to say, no, you have to do ABC. But the way he was asking, just was indirect telling them, you have to do ABCD. And those questions that he asked, I think those demands, it can be settled, it can be handled through negotiation. It's not really a huge matter unless there's something behind. There's something behind. We all know the history of what happened and everything. Everything can be sorted out through the dialogue, especially what Makebi Zuru was mentioning, because it didn't really to say, because it was just going around on one point to say, no, the government did this, the government did, but there's a reason why government did what they did. So there's someone who is behind this whole game. For me, that is what I can say. It's just simple and straightforward on this part. Unless there's someone behind it trying to play politics behind that. Yes, we know the families, they have 100% to say on Lungu's body, but also he was a former president. And there's no way we can come and put a condition to say this is how it's supposed to be done. We don't do that as a Zambian culture. We don't do that. That is not the way things should be handled. We are holding on the body to say, I want you to do this. We don't want you to do. We don't. When someone is gone, even if you have 100 enemies, even those enemies will come to the funeral and mourn together. There's no enmity in death. After death, those things now can be sorted out. So this issue is just a matter of wisdom and sitting down. The family and the government should work together. No need of, this thing was not even supposed to go to court, but it leads where it leads because of there's a condition. And for me today, if I die today, I can't leave a condition. I'm not an angel. I'm not pure. How am I going to face God to say, wow, I left a condition behind to say, I don't want this person to attend, I don't want. Am I 100%? No. That's why we all go to church and we pray that prayer of what? That prayer that we pray. It's because of we are all sinners. So that is what I can say. So those is just politics. And those people, even the family and the others surrounding the PF member, also they are Christian. They are not pure. They are not 100%. So there's no way they can just stick to one point. No, this is what we want. No. So the influencers is those people around surrounding the families. Yes, that is what I can say on that on that issues.
All right. Okay. So anyway, let's move ahead, guys. We don't have much time, so let's move ahead. Let's now. It's time to Koinu. It's time to Koinu. So Koinu. The first thing I think we saw what happened last week when the president went to commission and open up the 100-megawatt solar plant. I remember we discussed about this, and Bagazia was asking, how many megawatts is it? It's going to be 100 megawatts. So 100 megawatts, it's finally done. The project is up and running. Okay, so 100 megawatts is going into the grid, national grid. The people of Central Province are going to benefit largely. So I'll pass this one to, first of all, since we haven't heard much from Wakazia, if you can come in, tell us what you think about it, and then we go from Wakazia to Doc. I know he's got a lot to say that, and then we follow that sequence. Wakazia.
Yeah, any development for our country is good. I like it. And anything that adds value to our people is welcome. The challenge that I usually have when such projects are being done is that what is the impact that it has created on the people? Because one of the things that is still being experienced is load shedding. You see, Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa had indicated in his press statement very eloquently last year that load shedding should be able to be diminished or near ending around June. What I see is that the projects are a great benefit for our country, but we must put a priority to our country first. The exporting of power, which has consistently been done, is which I have a problem with. The development towards making sure that we have all these solar plants coming up on the grid and supporting the Zambian communities, that will be always a welcome move. But to have exporting on the other end, that I have consistently, and I don't support it. I would not support export of power at the expense of Zambians. The Zambians, to me, are the first people that must have power. If it means canceling all agreements, we can just do that so that we have our medium and small scale people benefit from power. But if the opening of these grids are going to actually change a few things and make sure that things go forward, then it's a welcome move. I submit. Can you hear me?
Yes, Wakazi,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying I've submitted. Did you hear what my submission?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So
I
just to
don't know
wrap up,
what
I
you
said,
want.
hello? I said the in one sentence, I said the development is good, but we must stop exporting power at the expense of Zambians. That is all I said.
Okay. So, okay, exporting power. That's a topic of another day. But I think what we need to coin is the 100 megawatts, and the goal of the current government is to reach 1,000.
Okay, that I already commented on it. Hello?
Mhm. Mhm.
My comment was very straightforward. I said any kind of addition to what we have as a country, these all power projects that the government is embarking on, is a good gesture. It only
Fantastic.
becomes a good gesture when it is able to benefit the people. So you can't defraud and then export. For me, that is a disconnect that I think government must address. Other than that, the coming up and the construction of these grids is a welcome move.
Okay, but Danny. But Danny, are you there? Oh, you're still preparing a sandwich or something? Okay, but Danny's a little bit occupied.
He's gone fishing.
He's a little bit occupied.
Bashmwana, wereni hapa bashmwana.
He's a little bit occupied. Okay. So then what we'll do is Wachtumba, you can give us your 2 cents on this one.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's another Kwenyu. Yeah, I think for me, what I can say, it's a welcome move and well done to the new Don government. I think that's why last time I said to say such project is not an event, but it's a process. So it should start and then it's progress and then we have it. So last time I said I think we didn't pay much attention when it comes to energy as a country. We are saying Zambia is a underdeveloped or is a developing country. We are developing. There is more industry which is coming, and those industry to come up to function, it needs energy. So the demand was increasing. People are building. Also, they are connecting to the national grid, which means the demand is increasing. But 30 years, 20 years ago, we didn't pay much attention to energy. We didn't invest in energy. We only depended on what? On hydro. But bad enough we had that drought which we experienced last year. And then we have these issues of road shedding. Actually, this one comes at a good note. It's a good start, but I wish it was done 20 or 30 years ago. If you start having that kind of plan to say by 30 years, you need to have this kind of this amount of power, the economy will grow by this. And then also we have to grow this energy sector so that it can cater so that we don't experience what we're experiencing today. What we are going through today, it's the lack of preparedness. And also there's a saying which says lack of preparedness is a preparing to do what? To fail. Exactly, that is what happened. We didn't prepare. We learned about this climate change, but we didn't prepare. So this is a good move. it's a good start. So as we are starting, we have to experience what we're experiencing now, and then later on we are going to have we are going to come out from these issues of road shading. So I think we have a deficit of should be 100 megawatts. So 200 has come in. So I think I heard that same. I think the president, so the same solar plant. I think also they are expanding to another 100 so that it can start producing 200 megawatts. It's a good direction. So if we, for example, like we have that kind of plant in each province, I can tell you can't experience what you're experiencing now. So the reason why you're going through is lack of preparedness. So now we are in a good direction. Thank you very much. I submit.
Thank you, Mr. Shitumba, for that. And
Can I come in?
okay, and is this for Nicholas? Who's this?
Yes.
Okay, go
It's
ahead,
me,
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah, Nicholas, you can go ahead, Jay. You know, and just be comfortable and
Yes, I just
express
want.
whatever how you want to express yourself.
Okay, no
Go ahead.
problem. What I want,
Yeah.
I just want to add something. Pasho balanda ba kazia. If our first president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, did what our president Hakainde Chilema is doing, this time we are not even supposed to have load shedding. What he is doing, our president right now, what he's doing is planning for the future. This load shedding we are experiencing, this is what Bakazia was saying. We are preparing for our future. Where we are going, what I can see, if on them load shedding takwakabe. Mando wakwebati our president is preparing all these 100 megawatts solar plant he has made, and so many. Each province, like Bakazia he was saying, each province, if we have our own power plant or solar plant or anything, yeah, we can't have load shedding. So I can only say that let's just because if we by UPNG, what I've seen, tatukwete ama praise singers abengi. Aba PF bari kweta ama praise singers abengi. If tatukwete abengi, that is the reason why information is not everywhere. Our president can do this, but information it's moving slowly to reach all over the country, Zambia. It's moving slowly. But if we've got this meeting we are having, we are only five. We are only five. So this is the reason why I'm saying ngana tukwata aba pressing abengi ifo ba UPND. Uli apa information chilenda quick. Now tukwete pressing abanono. Mamona. So like this is 100 megawatt solar plant. Yes, our president has done well. In the next, I can tell you, in the next maybe 3 years, 2 years, we are not going to experience what we are experiencing right now. This load shedding we are having, you see. So I think that's what I can add on. That's what I can add on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And just to add on, you know what he's saying. I mean, look, yes, information needs to be disseminated, and it needs to be out there. So that's why this platform is there. You know, it's for that very reason. So, but in any case, we can quenula to the fact that one, this is one of the largest solar plant sub-Saharan. Okay, in sub-Sahara. So aside from South Africa, they have one as well. But sub-Sahara, all these other neighboring countries, this is one of the largest, and it's a huge investment, which is not a small thing. Phase 2 is coming. Okay, so phase 2 already they have started groundbreaking. So it will be 200 already, with other smaller projects in terms of energy are coming up across the country. So that's a big thing. And one other issue we also need to discuss is the multi-facility zone. I mean, look at what is happening in Central Province. I think Central Province is going to be one of the most looked upon provinces in the next 5 years. Like, people would start trekking to go and work in Central Province, because the multi-facility zone has a battery manufacturing plant, electric cable manufacturing plant, and generators. Imagine, we're making our own generators here in Zambia, made in Zambia. And we're exporting to over 8 countries already. So it's a huge deal. It's a huge, big deal. So it's a Kwenyu after Kwenyu after Kwenyu. So ama batteries supply. Electric cables repang supply. Ama generators supply. All these things that we used to import. Okay? So it's a big deal. Very, very, very big deal. I don't know, the implication of having an M zone, a multi-facility zone to the local people. Jobs, 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 and more jobs. And indirectly or directly, people will be employed. But Danny, are you back, or are you still away? Is Mr. Danny there? I think what Danny is
Now,
a little bit.
you are done.
Okay. Okay. So, Bachitumba, M zone, multi-facility zone. Now, when
Yes, I
the
can hear you,
UPND
Mr.
government took over, they
Yeah.
found it to be just a warehouse, empty warehouse.
That's why I grew up in Copper Belt, and in particular in Rwanda. That is why there's Zamefa. So I was asking myself why we have only Zamefa. That was in 2010. Why we have only Zamefa. And Zamefa was not able to make, because I was asking, Zamefa, are we able to make these electric cables? They say, I think they used to make those only for, I think it was used to work for the phones for Zamtel.
Zamtel, yes.
Yes, that is what Zamefa was making by then. So now look at the time that we've wasted. That's why I was asking myself, if that money, Euro bond, it was invested into energy, into this type of industry where we revamp Zamefa, like Kabwe zone. If it was die by then, lelonga tufikire pesa. So today we are going through what we are going through because of what we did in 30, 20 years ago. This is the thing that we have to understand, and we have to be very, very careful, especially this generation. Let us not dance to everything. Let us be serious when where governance is concerned. Governance is not a joke. It's not to dance. It's to do something. It's all about planning. Very strategic. Let's be planning. Let's have those people. Let's plan 20 years, 30 years from now. So what is the government is doing now? The result, we are going to see it 10 years from now. So now it will depend with next year election. We can continue with this kind of development, or it can end there. So everything is in our hands. So as voters, we have to understand, what are we voting for? What do we want to see as a country 10 years from now? Let's see what is happening in Kafiwe. nitrogen.
Mm.
Let's see what is happening in capital. All these things, to my surprise, we will not see it, especially in Zambia. I saw it on Sia One page. That is where I saw it. And you saying, see what the president is doing. So now, if that
No.
it was done 20
Rachitumba.
years, yes,
Rachitumba.
Maybe I can come
I
in
don't.
that time.
You should start. Here's the thing. You should start following the Red Tag Media on Facebook. You'll see all these things. They are there.
Okay.
Maybe
So everybody
I
that's
don't
here,
think it's
follow
about
the page.
here.
Don't just participate on the podcast. Follow the page as well, and you see all these things.
maybe
But
maybe
here, you want
Okay.
to say something?
I want to add a few perspectives there.
Go ahead.
You see, that's why they tell you to say governance is a going concern.
Uh-huh.
That is why in governance, you don't condemn everything that your friend has done or fail to
Mhm.
appreciate them. That multi-facility zone was started under the PF.
Yes, which they turned into a
That
warehouse.
that multi-facility zone was crafted and started. The construction phase started under the PF.
Yes,
And
it became a warehouse.
do you want me to finish that chanda or not?
Finish up. Finish up.
Yes, you can call whatever you want to call it. The concept and the conception of that was started under the PF. It was going through construction. I have inspected that place by personally when it was just starting to be constructed. And all those things were part of the plan. If you hear the time there was groundbreaking, it was initiated that this year, actually 2025, those things are going to come to fruition. The problem that we usually have as Zambians is that when your friend has done something, we have to find something to discredit them, not something to encourage them to say, oh, this was a good move. And now it is bearing fruit. And we must also encourage and appreciate the current president for taking leave and not making that industrial park, fail to progress. You may wish to know that all the provinces have industrial parks. Kasama has, Lusaka has, and Lusaka most fertility zones they have. All those things are there. They were started. They were part of the plans. And if we can find something positive and not the negativity of our conversation to take root, that, oh, yes, and you must appreciate that even what President HH is doing here, he is not going to finish everything. If we start to think like, oh, now the President HH will finish everything or all the projects that is going to start and they will finish at his term and everything, it will not happen. He will have project 10-year plan. Some plans he has may even outlive his life because governance is a going concern. And it is up to someone who comes later to say, this, we did not find it, we did not start it. President HH started it. We are commissioning it. The concept started and it has done. The level of toxicity that we have put in our mouth when we talk to each other and about our own leaders and progress really at times affects how we debate and encourage what is positive. I would want more to focus more that this is a good thing to do. That more facility zone it was not a warehouse as it has been said. And these are the things that we must be able to start. The presidential handlers, they must be able to be magnanimous enough and they say, boss, this you are not going to say. Because what comes out of the mouth of the president, if it is said at times jokingly, but seriously, it is taken out of context. The president cannot joke about something. The president cannot use bad language because people will pick it up and run with it. That is why when you handle the president, it must be always to remind the president about the severity of the language that he's using. When you find your friend has done it, he has built the shell of the house, and you come and put sofas there, you must appreciate that he built the shell, and now you've put the sofas there. Now you can sit and call it a house. But when you care, this is just a block that nothing. Now look at me, what I've done. It starts to create a level of criticism that is unfounded, which should not be there. So for me, the multi-facility zone, because I know slightly more about all the multi-facility zones, the concepts that were done, the starting of the foundation stones and running through them. For instance, Reaction Blue Hotel in Livingstone, we did the concept of that hotel, and we did the foundation stone. But who went to grace it? Who opened it? It's the current government. So we must be able to appreciate and be able to drag government to say, what you've done is a going concern, and what your plans having someone else will come and finish it up. So that is what I think should be more of the focus.
We hear you, Akazia. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you actually watched the president's speech. He said, this was started, by our, the previous government. He said that, they acknowledged that. Okay? But it was turned into a warehouse, meaning after you can start something and then you don't progress, or maybe for certain reasons, maybe there's no money available, or there are no partners to come and partner with you. But what you were saying was like, look, we have now officially opened this with our various partners, and we are now the largest battery supplier in the region because of that. And it's only been done in a year. How many years did it take for that zone to be made? How many years was the PF in government? Okay, so we have to look at these issues, because the PF were the people that they were just sweet talk people. They start a project, they dump it. They start a project, they dump it. They start a project, they dump it. There was no continuation.
I certainly don't agree with that one.
There was no continuation. That's the difference that we're trying to bring on the table. We're saying, look, this government has just been here for a short period of time, and it has done within a year. What we're saying,
Mwayamba politics.
Within a year, Vaisula, within a year. Okay. Well, after 1 year, it was started last year. Now it's commissioned, it's open, ready for business, and we're already exporting. Phase 2 is coming as well. So phase 2 now itampa food, because now what we're only making is batteries for electric vehicles, generators, and electric cables. Second, we'll start doing lithium.
So I don't want to start a debate. I don't want to start a debate, because that's why I was saying, as us the voters, we have to be very, very serious, especially where governance is concerned. We have to know the type of person that you are putting into leadership. Let us not just vote for the sake of voting. No, it's going to cost us. As this country, we are very, very behind compared to other countries. We are very behind. We've wasted a lot of time. It's not only PF. We've wasted time. Why? We have a problem, especially where governance is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like the issue that you are talking about here is lack of continuity. Why are we lacking that? We have a parliament. Why can't you have a law which is going to to stop the project when another government starts, where we think that this is a developmental project? That's why I'm saying, when someone will go to parliament and to go and joke there, it's not a joke there. It's a serious business. You have to be serious. That's why today we are talking what you are saying. Today we are talking about load shedding because of what we did 30 years ago.
Okay.
What we did
Fantastic.
10 years ago.
Lastumba.
Yes.
This topic won't end. Let's move on to the next topic because of time. So, sorry, Lastumba, to cut you short, but we need to move on. And I think we've tackled it. Wakazia, I think he agrees with us and he agrees with every Zambian. It's a good, the multi-facility zone is something that's huge, something big that is going to benefit a lot of Zambians, especially in Central Province. And at least we're going to see some life. It's no longer going to be, the Kokawe as the Sunda station. So it's no longer going to be that. So coming to the next topic, NCZ, nitrogen chemicals. They finally installed all those equipment that we're seeing from a tank, big truck, heavy trucks, and all that stuff. They've finished installing them, and now it's going to be up in production in a couple of months. To be producing design, like we're going to be fertilizer secure now. In short, meaning that we're no longer going to depend on imports. We are going to be the ones that are going to be exporting. So nitrogen chemicals, for people that don't know, this is a government entity or a government, it's part of the government. And, government owns it and the government is running it and they've reinvested in it. And meaning that everything that's going to be made there automatically the government is going to buy. Aside from having a private company, United Limited Capital, that's another one. But this one, NCZ, which has been dormant for for years and years, since independence, really. It's been dormant. Nothing has been done. Now it's being revamped. So everybody who's a farmer, I think Makazia, you told me that you were a farmer. I think that's what you said. Did you say you're a farmer?
I do a bit.
So NCZ, when it comes to the to NCZ and how it's going to affect, just that alone, coming on board in manufacturing fertilizers, and this is just not just any fertilizer, but fertilizer that's that's going to target different areas depending on the soil and depending on the area and stuff like that. What's your 2 cents on that one?
Well, my 2 cents are this, because you see, by the way, I know about NCZ because my wife comes from Kafue.
Oh, nice.
She lived her life there.
Kafue town.
Yeah. I have not seen, I don't know, has it started production or not?
Not yet. In a couple of months, they're just finishing installing everything, the new equipment. They just finished installing the new equipment. So in about a couple of months, it's going to be online.
Oh, that's good. That would be a good guess if it can work and bring more fertilizer to the Zambian people.
Yeah, nice. Same thing with the the what you call it, the Mulungushi textiles. So Mulungushi textiles, there they have completed installing everything. Ichisherapo fekwasha fya malaita ti boom. Chatampa nokusta produce some cotton in Efia. And here's a good thing is Mulungushi textiles and the government, they have invested in about 10,000 farmers to start producing cotton.
Oh,
yes, 10,000 farmers start producing, and they're saying that is not even enough.
Oh,
that is not even enough. That is not even enough. What?
Where are the farmers from? Mukoncho, whatever.
They're going to be obviously from within and across the country. So,
Okay.
but mainly within Kawe. So the 10,000 farmers, they have started it because, cotton, it's a good product because it doesn't take much to grow, and it doesn't take, there's no much capital that you need, like it will just grow. But so they've invested that, and they're saying that, look, with the equipment that is there and what it's going to be doing, 10,000 farmers to grow cotton is not enough. So right
Okay.
now, after all completion everything is installed, once they switch on, they're just waiting for materials. So right now, the material is being imported. Okay, it's being imported, so it's just waiting. When it comes in, production is on. So we are no longer going to be depending. If you tenge or t-shirt, if you're a shirt, if you're to be coming from China, it will be all be made in Zambia.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and this is something huge, something good for people that are in the clothing business, and for people that are energetic, the people that are creative. It's where it's going to be a hub for a lot of businesses, and it's going to be this is a big move. And for Kabwe itself, knowing me, Kabwe, I love it personally because my grandma is from Kabwe. So I know, like, a lot of people are going to be employed already. They've been employed, and after it's fully in operation, we will have going to see a lot of professionals, getting a lot of jobs. So I'm surprised you didn't hear about this one, Bakazia.
No, I didn't hear about it. So that would be sounds good.
Yeah, and so that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Now, is there anybody who wants to contribute on the Kabwe thing, or we go to the oil refinery, Banguela?
Okay, let me come in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for Mulungushi, Kawa Mulungushi Textile, it's another Kwenyu. I think I used to pass from Copperbelt going to Lusaka just to see what this building for. It's written Mulungushi Textile. Nothing was coming out. And then we are talking about the foreigns and everything. I think as a country we depended on imports. That is what we really depended on. So this one is it's a good one. It's a welcome move. We are going to have our own now, full function, more jobs coming. We are going to have our own material, our own product, and we are going to be proud of that. We need those types of investment. Another one, for example, like in Luapula there. Another one in Southern Province. Another one in Eastern Province. Then we are good to go. That one is a good one. For me, when I see such a thing, I say, yes, we are moving in the right direction. But the problem that we have is that we don't know the other government that comes after the new dawn. They are going to abandon it like the way we did. Then we go back to zero again. Again, we're going to restart. So it's like those industries, it was there during the Kaunda's time, but we neglected it. And then now we restart again. So that is the years we are behind. Our friend
is having network problems. I think I can tell. Rashtumba, are you there?
The way we are doing it today. I think for me that is the question. Maybe the member of parliament, let it help us. What can we do? Kafiwe nitrogen. What can we do? All this multi-facility zones. What can we do? We don't want again to go back. We want to improve and go more and do more.
Mhm.
For me, that is what I can say. Let us not argue
Mm.
issues which is unnecessary. There, let's. I think let's argue how best can we reserve these industries from collapsing? How can we prevent it so that 100 years from now it can be more expanded and we produce to even to America?
Well,
For
I
me,
think
that is what I can say.
let me put my 2 cents on this one. I think just to add on, um, if we look at the calendar days on how the industrialization started, Vakazi, I think is well versed in this. He can probably agree with me. There were certain sectors of the economy that needed to be industrialized and be able to tap in the local industries. So at one point, Zambia was one of the fast growing economies. I think we were one on one going with other developing countries in Europe. And people used to come and study Zambia at that time. We had a lot of industries that were coming up. In Livingstone alone, there was a plant that was making cars or assembling cars. There was ITT making radios and TVs in different areas. But if you look at even Northern Circuit, I mean, we used to have, what those batteries that used to call it spark batteries from Mansa batteries, okay, which is defunct at the moment. But what happened? These industries died a natural death because when the world is moving, we also need to start moving with the world. You cannot just put a blueprint and let it just rot. So, with the way the world is right now, HH is putting that blueprint, but the Zambian people need to be alert. The next government that's coming in need to also think in those lines. There should be some sort of a coordination to say, look, if this was laid out to say, if we do this, then we're going to be independent in terms of power. If we go green, we no longer have to, concentrate on hydro. And the way we're going to go green, let's tap into hydro, let's tap into other sources. Just an example. So in the calendar days, most of these companies ended up being sold because when they were created, they remained stagnant. They didn't move with the times. Okay, so you got a manufacturer, you get a plant that's manufacturing TVs, radios, but people are creating newer TVs, newer models, newer things, but you're just creating the same one, same thing that you've been creating since 1960. So it's not going to sell. So that's how this company started dying out, because you're not competing with the market and the way the world was moving. So if you're in our house, I remember we had an ITT TV, and we had an ITT radio. It was called a national radio. It was a boombox. Okay, if you look at the back, it was said made in Livingston. And if you play it, it used to good sound. But you have to move with the times. You have to make different designs, new designs, moving with the times. That's how you progress these companies. So same thing now as we are doing these things. Just to answer your question, we need people, especially young people, young engineers, young entrepreneurs. They come in, they say, oh, this is what it is. Okay, fine. In the next phase, can we make this one in this way, in a better way? Looking at how the world is moving and the way the world is moving. So you tap into what's current. We don't just remain in the blueprint era. Move with the times. That's how these industries are moving now. Like the industries like Every day there's a new industry. Every day there's new technology happening. And if we're not caught up, you're gonna remain behind. And no matter how much you produce, people are like, no, we don't need that. We need the latest phone. Everybody's looking for a latest phone. I want a new iPhone. I want a new Samsung. I want a new. People are looking something new. So as long as we're progressing in that manner to producing something that's new, the industry is not going to die. So that's what we need to preach. I rest my case.
Can I come in? Can I come in, Mr. Chanda?
Go ahead.
Yes. Let me just add on what you have said. The time I stayed in Cape Town. There, like the way the way you are saying, we don't move with time. That's the what you are saying. The time with me I was staying
Mhm. Uh-huh. We can hear you. Go ahead. Probably having some internet problems. Go ahead. We can hear you. Uh-oh.
I think network issue.
To network issue. Anyway, so let's go to
yes,
the
it's network.
Banguela deal, guys. Guys, this is a huge move. Uh, but I think I already reported this already. I can remember when it first started last year. I reported it on our page, the Redtag. Hello? Yeah. So I reported that, the Banguela oil refinery between Angola and Zambia, the partnership, where we have at least 26% stake in the business. I reported it some time back last year. And I even because I got so much stuff, I was trying to find it like it was last year, really, when this was happening, when the president went to meet the president of Angola and said, look, we need to invest in this business, this refinery. And Zambia put a stake, 26% stake in that oil refinery. That time it was just in its infancy. So now that it's coming into, it's maturing, we're going to see, a good, oil connection between Zambia and Angola. Now, everybody was complaining to say, why have, Indenis closed? Why are we, bringing, oil directly from Tanzania? But the president was eyeing Angola at that time. He was saying, like, look, Angola has oil, Zambia needs oil. Once we tap into that industry and once we put a stake in it as a country, in the next coming years, we're going to see a reduction in oil products. So fuel and everything, diesel and everything. Now, Mr. Kazia, I want you to, tell us. I don't know if you have heard about this one, the Banguela oil refinery deal. Are you aware of it? I'm sure you are.
Yeah, the Banguela, yes, I've seen it, but I don't know the details to it. Are we doing a pipeline? Okay. Oh, I think I remember. This Banguela conversation started in 20. There was just a conversation around having to run some kind of pipeline
Yes.
from Angola into Zambia.
Yes.
And the starting point was, I think the conversation that I am very much aware of was the issue to do with the visibility studies when they were being done in Zambia. That was, I think, 2017, 2019, somewhere there. That's when the visibility studies started. and that was started to make sure that we have the right places for storage. And it meant that were we going to have storage in Northwestern Province, or are we going to have storages dotted across the country? And if you see, Mansa right now has fuel depot, which is there. I think that was something that was being discussed, to have a fuel depot in Northwestern Province as the landing places to do that. So I think it's a good move that government continued with that conversation, and I hope that we quickly work around it. What I'm happy about is that we have started as having a stakeholder in that oil refinery. And look at this, we have started at 26%, which is really, really good. And I hope that this is what we should have been doing for the mines as well. That anyone coming to partner with us must be a minority shareholder and not a majority shareholder. So Angola has done a very good job giving us a stake in it, but they still have the control of the larger percentage. So I think it's a good thing to have. Let's see how it gets actualized, and also how it is. I know once it's actualized, it's going to be very, very significant. We don't know how the impact is going to be. Of course, we know that it will affect the pricing of the fuel and the pump price. It might, bring it down to levels that are very, very sustainable. So I think it's a good move for me. It's a good continuation. It should continue, and government should make sure that it is operational. Yeah. So I think that, particularly, I'm happy that we have a stake into this refinery, and it's a model that I really appreciate as well. That we have stake in it, but it is their oil, and that is why I'm just saying that, can we also translate that to the mines, so that we have the majority of the stakeholders shares into our mines, and then anyone coming to join us can join on our terms and things like that. So it's a good move.
Fika bakalamba. Ba Nicholas, mwaliuvapo area ya nani kani Angola, Zambia oil refinery deal. Are you there? It's probably not there. Watch Tumba.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Yeah, actually, for me, maybe before I come in, maybe the quick update. Today it's Zambia versus Morocco, and Zambia is leading by 1.
Oh, nice. Oh, the women's
Yes.
team, isn't it?
Yes, the women's team.
Oh, yeah. Twala win.
Yeah. Okay. All the quick one. All the Angola refinery. Actually, I think I heard. I think when the president started these issues of Angola refinery, and also I think I was following it together with the issues for, is it Congo DR, those Robito, and that partnership issues of for the electric batteries. I don't know how far it has gone, that one. But for the Angola, yes, I was following it, and I think also I read about something, I think should be, this week. For me, what I can say is that Africa, we are rich. Africa, we are rich. We have everything. So once we unite, we can develop Africa. Let's look at Angola and Zambia. We are neighbors. There's oil there, but let's look all these years, where are we getting the oil from? Then when it comes here, we complain about the pricing, the fuel is high and everything. But why are we not getting from Angola? Why are we not partnering ourselves as a countries, so that we sustain ourselves? So when we are united, we can do wonders. But when we are separated, there's nothing that can come out. So what I can say is that it's a good move for the two countries, and it's a benefit to both countries, Angola and Zambia. So my prayer and my hope is that it should come to fruition so that we see the results. It's a good move. It's a good move, and I'm happy of it. All this time, that's what I'm saying. Why are we wasting time? We have everything, but why are we wasting time? Let us not follow what these people, the other countries, are saying. Example that I can give is that when you look for the United States of America, there are how many countries there? There are a lot. They are united. That's why we are saying those countries are developed. But why us, Africa, are we not united? We have those natural resources. We can do wonders as Africa. And Africa, it can be look beautiful and admirable. Everyone can come, would love to come and live in Africa. But the problem is that we are not united. I submit.
Vachanda yure. Vachitumba has just finished submission. Vachitumba, is this man around or is gone? Is our host
Hello.
gone?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. My yeah, on phone. So anyway, I think we've tackled most of the issues, most of the topics, and I think now my closing remarks. And I don't know, vakazia vana musonda nishi valefwaya kulikuli vaechechi kati namkwatako dato tatwishive
Nchichi vari yako.
vana musonda
Vana musonda nchi.
tevanani kana vaire mukongosha panganda vaechechi kuma 01
Vatefi Musonda. So I'm surprised that Vana Musonda.
But
Vatefi Musonda.
vana musonda echechi achita invite vana musonda hawe vanini
nakundikusha ngeranda pote echingashupa chishi kuti avachainvite kuri wapuna teko mukalambarira ndati kuna muna kotusumapa so mutusena yeni vana musonda vari invited
yeneyo teti ivombe mdaro. I don't think so.
iyote muishibeta tuishibe chivana musonda vana musonda vale chitenshi kulia bafire vari veta kuchipanda vari veta kuchipinda.
Okay. I think. Hello.
Kuti muntu asangwa chani ku State House otaveti nichi navamuita kuri avechive pwenkamba yakuchipinda ofire vari muita ero nomba yari
ufi naimwe mwirarete narrative tatwishive
awe iyo vananiyo I find it strange kuti muntu asangwa chani ku State House. Obviously there's something bigger than meets the eye, and also I don't agree with the charge way for kumpera ngachakuta ilefe kuliati espinojanza it will just bring a lot of embarrassment to the process. Without if you want to work you're just coming to cause confusion here. Get out here, go back to your house. There's no need for that.
atari ingira na muyaji
Ngainge aingira chani muyaji pani vama soldiers ufire vari mushara awo. You see, how did you find that? You see, if you those are the people that the president must deal with. Not to get to deal with for what? Why should you understand? You leverage which is not there. pakutambya befuma pabwerera kungenda kumobe chapo mwamutwara mutwara. Do you really need to arrest and start embarrassing yourselves with that kind of things? I think the president should be much bigger than that. Umuntu are showing up
Okay, pali yo mwalandeyo.
Pilakupele pintu finishi relevance.
No, go ahead.
Bakazia.
Mukwai.
Me what I can say, Monene, if we tatwa ba mu system entire Zambia niba PF if tatwa ba mu system by UPND to be no so it can happen like that mama
No, but
it can happen like that if tatwa ba mu system to be no but PF aba mu system bengi
Moneni uwafya kuliponi ubu. Don't give things that are not relevance. Effort. And you see, this is the biggest problem that I think at times UPND creates around it. Now, presidential handlers. It is this. Sure. Okay, first thing what will this say because nothing, we wouldn't have even been having this conversation about it. You see, certain things when you bring about the presidency, at times you bring the presidency in an unnecessary situation. Because number to allow Boku push some questions about the president, which we should not be asking. There's no need. But under is here on this forum, I've said that at times we give relevance to stupid things. Now, leverage, numbers, because some people just misbehave. So that numbers people are going to view and things like that. At times you look the other way. Tell me what is okay. What would be the effect? Zero. You see, the presidency. If people were Amashidu, you are the president for everybody. I don't support the UPND. I don't support the President HH, but he's my president. I am obliged to listen. He controls things. So, even if I hate him, what will that benefit me? Nothing. That's why you find that in a Aranda, and I'm complaining to this person who is the president. The president is not a boss. The president is our servant. He is there to save us. So, at times we must avoid this kind of bringing the presidents in it. There's no need. I don't see the need. That's why now conversation but is it actually faith in it because it's giving the relevance which I don't want to give it. Because you see my channel. For me, let's avoid talking about it. We are giving it relevance, it doesn't happen.
Okay. So anyway, in any case, to Africa India program, I'm a closing remarks. Everybody,
let me start. I am very, very upset with the handling of Abantu Kumufumbwe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Kumufumbwe bane, and the people that have done that need to be held accountable. And these are the things you remember, Karen. Kapokolangasta misbehave Nzamansa Mafa. What did the UPND, you guys started saying? Now look at how those people misbehaved, beating people. Would we send by HH? So you see, for me, this is where I refuse to say, let's not bring presidents in such kind of conversations. The person misbehaving, we must deal with him at individual level. It has nothing to do with President HH. Now, if we take the narrative of how we treated PF and Edgar Lungu about everywhere who misbehaved, for us that we are serving in government, if I misbehaved, you throw it on the president. That is a narrative that makes people misbehave because they are not held accountable. Someone else innocent in the state house is held accountable for their stupidity. So let's deal with those people that misbehave. You cannot be treating Zambians like that. No, Bachan. That I refuse. Any time of the day. Those are human beings. They deserve some decency in terms, even if you want to remove them. That's not the way to do it.
Okay. Raj Tumba.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay, I want to comment on the issue for Mufumbwe. I think I'm a little bit behind. I didn't really see what is going on in Mufumbwe. So maybe my closing mark, what I can say is that maybe on the developmental issues, I think we have to continue in this direction. We've started well, and it's a good one. That is what I can say. And we need more of this such type of development. I think now we have to go to other provinces and see what we can produce from, so that at least we can, or each province can contribute to the GDP of this country. Yeah, that is what I can say. We have 10 provinces. I think you can identify this province. I think you can come up with these types of manufacturing. This, we can do this. In this province, you can do this. So that the all Zambia, the all provinces can contribute. Thank you. I submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raj Tumba. But yeah, on the what you're just talking about, Vakazia. Well, I agree with you to a certain degree, because that area was discovered by the locals. Okay. And that bogs my mind to say, like, look, we've invested heavily in the surveillance system. And I don't know this information. Maybe it's just being leaked, or that information is being given to the government, or where the mineral wealth is. But God is everywhere, Mvumbwe, even in Solwezi. Like it's not a hidden secret. But I think at this point, Bakabuswe should have come in. What my thought was, Bakabuswe should have come in to say, look, Bakongole, let's organize those young boys and girls. Okay, you guys and boys and girls, what we want to do is this. You're going to be given licenses. And we're going to empower you with certain machinery so that you are able to extract this good at a professional level. Not if you are kuimba fi mulemba fi mulemba fi tapwishi ya pali mulemba fi just guesswork. So I think Bakabuswe should have come in, me personally, and said those things to say, but no. Because this information should have been at his fingertips right at the day when it was announced. Because that mine has people have been trekking there for since last year. And at this point, people, people, it's now a flooded. It became flooded. Everybody's like, but people are now. They say, okay, boom, let's put a stop to this. I think it should be gradual. I think it should have been talking to those guys. Abantu Balia, tell them how to create cooperatives, empower them, because those are Zambian people, youth with a lot of energy. Mwabashita empower, mwapea nama machineries njire. Yakuimbeni nga mwaimba godi. Takuli kushitisha, kuli bamwisi. Shitishe ni ku government. The set price. Apa. That's the easiest way to deal with these issues, because those boys, they're angry, they're fighting, and all the tear gas. That's unnecessary. Very unnecessary. Okay? So those are the issues that, the minister should have done. I rest my case. And
Badani yepo bali hapa wale ufika ku background yo.
Badani, Badani na baya, tapari. Mr. Dan is not here. So in any case, we need to wind up, and we'll catch up next week, guys. So we have done our submissions. So next week again we'll be here. We'll bring in more developmental projects, safety sticker, in terms of CDF, Nefi Ashara. We got a lot of programs and a lot of development programs that. But hey, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Join us next week. God bless.
Okay, thank you very much, Kwenyu Kwenyu.